morning. How do you do? I trust you are well. Happy Monday to you. Happy new week. For me, we are beginning to wind down to the end of the school year. This is assessment week for us, which contains slight deviations from what I know, but anyway, I hope your week is set up sweet so that you can have a great time. I trust you are well. Anyway, this morning I want to share a story with you. So my husband had been my friend for a long time, and one of the things that I had known was that people who were friends, when they complicated friendship with amorous relationships and that didn't work out, it ruined the friendships that they had before. And you see, this friendship with this guy was so important to me. I was not willing to take that risk. I was not willing to take the risk. So the whole decision around should I or should I not was very tough for me. Very, very tough. Anyway, I was just thinking, the reason why it was tough for me was because I wanted to know whether or not it will work. I demanded to know before I made a choice. And in fact, at some point I had to come to a realization and then decide that it was worth the gamble and I was going to try, and no matter what happened I would deal with it. That's how I managed to move forward with this. But you see, looking back, it is the greatest decision I have ever made. Greatest decision I have ever made. It allowed my children to have a particular kind of dad. It allowed me to have a particular kind of partner. And I am so glad that I made that choice. So this app, over the last few lives, is stuck. I see some number of people who are probably watching, which is likely to be inaccurate. It doesn't tell me. So previously it would say to me who had entered the feed and such a thing is watching. I don't see that, and I don't even see your comments until the feed is done, and then I go back to the video and I see your comments. Thankfully though, my avatar will be responding even though I can't see any of them. Anyway, let's continue. One of the greatest things that plagued me when I was making that decision on who to go with, whether or not to gamble my friendship in pursuit of something better, or to settle for a good friendship and just find anybody who could also meet this need. Anyway, looking back, I am so grateful. But you see, even in the situations when things don't work out, looking back, if you look carefully, you will see lessons. You will see lessons, and those are wins. And that is my message for you this morning. Don't waste your time wondering whether it will work out or not, because you will never know until you have moved. You will never know. No matter how meticulous you're planning, no matter how much you look over facts and patterns, you will never know. Most of us demand to know, which is ridiculous, because you never will. Any effort spent trying to know in advance is a waste of your time, because you actually will never know. The day you come to this realization is the beginning of a period where you are pragmatic and you don't waste time on that which you cannot win, and you rather concentrate your efforts on exploring possibilities. Explore, let's see what happens, has got to be the attitude for life. Let's see what happens. So that's what I eventually settled on. let's see what happens. I like this guy, he likes me. I don't think he will intentionally try to hurt me, and I don't want to intentionally hurt him. Let's see what happens. Let's see where it goes. Well, as you can see, let's see where it happens. It's 20-something years together with that same guy. His son, who is turning 21, his next birthday, and Madame, who is turning 19, her next one. Yeah, we've had 2 incredible children. And the more I look at my children, the more I look at my children's personalities, the more I realize how perfect this was. His temperament is the right balance for mine. The things that he is are the things I'm not. And our children have sampled those things so beautifully and blended them into human beings that I actually like. So my children are not people that are my children only. They are people I genuinely like. Their personalities I genuinely respect. Their balance is exactly perfect in comparison to me. My deficits are balanced off with his strengths. His deficits are balanced off with mine. And we have created children that I am very, very happy with. They are humans. They come with flaws. But I am very, very happy with the outcomes that we got. That could have been lost in my fear of whether it would work out, in being afraid of it not working out. I was in danger of not even trying. And now looking back, the thoughts that I actually considered not exploring is the most stupid thing that I have ever thought. You will never know. You will never know. The dots will never connect looking forward, because you are looking forward into empty space, honey. What patterns do you want to see in empty space? There are no patterns visible in empty space. You will have to create substance. You will have to create matter in order for patterns to emerge. Most of us look forward looking for patterns. We want to see history. You are seeing the future. There is no history in the future. When you think of it that way, it is so insane. But that is most of our baseline behaviors. We look forward wanting to see history. Honey, you see future looking forward. There is no history looking forward. Why do we spend time looking for that which cannot exist in the space we want to find it in? You want to find history in the future. Pure madness, but many of us do. Me in particular. I tell you this so you can bring it to all aspects of your life. Your business, you want to know the future. You want to know a history in the future of your business. You want to see the business you have not established, and you want to see the success of the business you have not established. Honey, it's madness. There is no pattern, there is no history in the future, because it is not the past. History only exists in the past. History only exists in the past. It cannot exist in the future. It has to happen first before it becomes historic. And I hope that the ridiculousness of our baseline behavior is established in these series of conversations we are having, so that in the new realization of the ridiculousness, you have the freedom to liberate your mind of the shackles that confine it from some of these arbitrary desires. Whatever you want to do, you will never know whether it is the right thing or not until after you have done it. You will never know. You will never be guaranteed that something will work until you have tried it. And in fact, it will only work if you are determined to make it work. Because for most things, your first attempt doesn't work, your second attempt doesn't work, your third attempt doesn't work, and so on. I was talking to my supervisor, and my supervisor says, we are going to do something, and he says, that will be very challenging. I burst out laughing. And I said to him, well, are we afraid of challenges? And he started laughing too. No, we're not afraid of challenges. How do we know we are not afraid of challenges? We have been bitten in the bum by challenges. My first annual review was a nightmare. He found me a guy who was supposed to be interested in gamification. And what I was doing at the time, per my understanding, was within that domain. This guy came, and this guy was not even a gamification person. This person was a game-based learning person. They wanted the big games. They wanted me to have created a big game out of what I wanted to do. I didn't want it. I just wanted to gamify elements. And he pooed on my party. He did poo on my party. He ripped me to shreds. And I had to go back and lick my wounds. But because of that guy and his obsession with games, the way he wanted to force the agenda, I had to go and sit back down with what was already known and what was getting known. And eventually, the distinction between the game-based learning he was trying to force and the gameful learning I wanted to undertake became very clear. So that when I eventually got to my Viva, anybody who knows me knew that I said my Viva was going to be a bloodbath. My Viva was a very easy, very enjoyable, thoroughly me in control experience. Why? Because all the annual reviews before then, my confirmation of registration was not done once, it was done twice. I had to redo it. I redid a couple of my annual reviews, at least one. I don't know if it's a couple, but I redid an annual review and I did my confirmation of registration again. I had to redo a lot of things. Oh, my first proposal was rejected. Outright rejection. I had to go back. So you see, in my academic journey, nothing had been straightforward. And so now when I do things, I am meticulous. I am meticulous. I am careful. I am diligent. I dot my I's and I cross my T's. And I come ready, thirsty for a fight, in fact. I am thirsty for a fight. And you bring the fight on, it's no surprise. Where does that come from? It comes from my history. My very painful history. When that was happening, it was not my preferred situation. But now, looking back at how everything has panned out, it was my ideal situation. It was the fire that I needed to pass through in order for me to be shaped and to be tapered and to be polished, to get me to be the shiny knife that I wanted to become. You will never understand history looking forward into the future. The future does not predict. The past shows you what has happened. It makes sense in the past. The dots align in the past. Patterns appear in the past. The future is a blank canvas. You cannot see patterns. So this morning, I want to share that with you because I want to give you the strength to look at your empty space and not be scared, but to think, heck, I've got a chance to create. It is unblemished. It can become anything you want it to be. It can become anything you want it to be. You can shape it any way you want. This future you see, you can shape it any way you want. You will have to make decisions. And sometimes, even after you've made decisions, your destiny and predetermined things will exert themselves, but they will always work out for your good. That's the faith I want to give you. It would always work out for your good. So Philip and I were talking, and I said, "Oh God, George," and we both burst out laughing, because that was the name of my nemesis for years. Nemesis. I don't think even he probably realized the obsession that he became on my journey. My absolute nemesis. But my nemesis made me clarify certain things, so that in the actual hour, I eventually got my assessment documents back, and I realized something. Both of my examiners, when they read my thesis without the Fiverr, had actually positioned to request major amendments. When they read it within the confines of their understanding, within the limits of just their cognition and experience, they thought that it was a required major revisions. They were even suggesting methodological amendments, But then we met on the Viber. And we met on the Viber with me absolutely refined by the fire I had been through. And so my explanations were on point. In fact, my intro, I did not bring a presentation, which was a big deal for me. Most people will bring a presentation and run through the presentation. I chose not to do a presentation. I chose to just be oral, and I chose to flow and tell them what I had done and why I had done them. And I had explained, without having seen their notes, a lot of the things that they had not understood when they read. And so they asked me some questions, and every question they brought, I had an answer ready. The reason why I had an answer ready is because I had met many people who had asked me many questions on this journey when I didn't have an answer. So I made sure that I came into this one with all my answers ready. With all my answers ready. And when we finished, both of my supervisors were telling me how fierce I had been there. I was able to be fierce that day because I had been made humble in the past. I had been reduced in the past. I had been flawed in the past. And what had happened in the past had helped me to craft a future where those things were never going to repeat. If you are on, remember, I can't see your comments live, but I will respond to them the earliest opportunity I get today. Right? That is a faith that I wish I became conscious of earlier. I was so obsessed. I am a control freak. And as a control freak, I am obsessed with controlling the elements so that I limit surprises. I want to know if it will work. I almost didn't even go with this guy because I didn't want to ruin our friendship. Madness. If anything, we have become much better friends over time. We have been through so much. We share such a history. He has backed me up in some insane places, and I will eat my eyeballs to protect him. My daughter was asking me certain questions this weekend about their childhood. Mom, why did you not explain? We misunderstood. And I smiled. Well, my daughter misunderstood because I wanted to protect her view of her dad and of her life and of whatever. So because of the way I am, it's easy for you to see me as the bad cop. Well, I was happy to be bad cop. I was not bad cop, but I was happy to play it. Why wouldn't you explain, Mom? And I smiled. Yeah, because I'd rather you got a tainted view of me than create a possibility where your view might be tainted of your dad. And she says, that's so weird. So weird. Yeah. And I was afraid. I was afraid that we would not be okay. You will be okay. You will be fine. Whatever happens, you will be fine. There are blind panics on the journey, but you will be fine. Start your business. It will be okay. You will lose some money in the early days, of course. Your capital will be locked. Of course it would. But you would be okay in the end. In the grand arena, you will be more than okay. Your boss is being a dick. It gets a reason why. When you are at work and your boss is being a dick, it usually is a clue that it's time for you to make a move. You are on a chessboard and you have to look carefully so that you know which moves to make. But really, until you make the move, you will never know. So be brave and make the moves. And even if the move you make in the interim doesn't seem like the best one, you will recover. You will recover. You will recover. You will be okay. I tell you this because I feel this is one of the most important messages that I can share with people. I tell you this because these are words I needed to hear, and I wish I heard in some of the early stages of my life. Many things in my life have worked out okay, but I have been so scared in the interim. And it was unnecessary, that fear. Unnecessary. Because in the end, it has been fine. It has been okay. It is well. It is well. So I bring you that hope, that faith, that it will be okay. Don't worry too much about it. You'll be okay. Yeah, it will be okay. Keep soldiering on. It will be okay. When you look back, your history would be colorful, and you will gain pride in the many things you have done to try and succeed. And you will be very proud of the times that you have succeeded. In the grand scheme, the things that may seem insignificant and may have even seemed like losses in the interim, you will see are wins, and you'll be so proud of yourself that you haven't been a coward and you haven't hidden in a corner and just refused to. There's a biblical story that I find very profound. It can be very difficult for some people to deal with. It is the parable of the talents. If you don't know the parable, let me tell you. The master was traveling, and so he gave talents to his servants. He gave one of them 5 talents. No, I think it was 10, 5, and 1, isn't it? My stories are now all over the place, but whatever, they were significant. I think it was 10, 5, and 1. And if you look at 10, 5, and 1, there is a marked difference between how much the master gave. At first, I thought, that's unfair. Well, the master gave one the 10, and one a 5, and one just 1. The other 2 chose to invest them. But the one who was given the 1 talent said in his heart, the master is so wicked. If I gamble this and if I lose this talent and he returns, he will execute me. So what did he do? He dug a hole in the ground and he buried the talent so that the master could not come and find him without the 1 talent. And when the master returned, he went and dug out the 1 talent and he brought it and told the master, here you go, wicked master. I have preserved your 1 talent exactly as you gave me. The master was mad and ordered, I think, his banishment or his execution, one of them. Well, he ordered a severe punishment for him. And as a child, when I heard this story, I felt the punishment was uneven. I thought it was a bit extreme for something as small. After all, he did not lose the talent. Now, as an adult, thinking, the master knew him. The master knew his weaknesses. That's why the master only gave him the 1 talent. The ones that the master knew would be prudent, the ones that were likely to make sensible choices in investments, who were likely to multiply the talents, were given more. And that is one of my guiding principles at the moment. You don't want to be closed up like the fool who was given 1 talent. And you don't want to be so afraid that you dig a hole and put the 1 talent in, because if you do, your punishment would be severe, because it shows a lack of faith in the master. You are so suspicious of your master. You are so limiting in your thinking around your own capacity that you are willing to make a hole and bury your talent. Well, that's what a lot of us do. In our fears, we make holes and we bury our talents, and we will bring it out possibly intact, but we will be punished for it. We would. What you are supposed to do with talents is to make them work. That is the moral of that story. Talents are supposed to be used for work. They are not meant to be hidden in holes. Talents are supposed to be working. You can only do so when you have faith that it will be well. May you have some faith. May you know that the talents you are given is given to you because you have the capacity to work them. The opportunities that come to your brain are brought to you and nobody else because you can execute on them. You can. The things that pop in your head, the opportunities people present to you are given to you in faith. The master knows that you will not squander it. That's why he gives you more. More is given to those that much is expected of. Much is expected of you because your capacity is known. Have faith in that. Have faith in that and act. And if you take interim losses, you will ultimately work around and you will turn it around to your victory. I hope that parable does for you what it did for me when I gained my new understanding of it. It was a profound moment for me to realize that I had been given a lot of talents, a lot of opportunities come my way, and it is my responsibility to work with these talents, not hide them, no, not take safe bets, no, work, take risks, work. When you work, you take risks. And those who refuse to take the risk, they bear the risk of the great punishment. That's what it means to die. Right, you guys, I've just managed to find and I've just shared the link to my subscription. Can you guys please go and subscribe for me? Yeah, go to my subscription and go and subscribe. You need some faith. You need some respect for your maker, that he knows what he has given you and he will never give you more than you can bear. There is a very old African saying that says that the cushion you are given is indicative of the weight you are expected to carry. So when you're going to carry something on your head, you often get a cushion. And yeah, the cushion for those who are going to carry the greatest weights have got the biggest padding. If you are going to carry a heavy load, you will be given very well padded cushion. If your weight was light, what's the point in wasting any time, effort, and resources to pad out your cushions? Anyway, my message is done. I feel the relief in my spirit that I have done justice to my assignment this morning, and I hope that those of you who are here also feel the same relief in your spirit, that you have heard what you are supposed to hear in order to galvanize you to do what you are supposed to do today. I shall see you hopefully on the way out. If not, I'll see you on the TikTok account today. I think I have finally figured out what needs to be done on this ticking and talking thing, and I will be on there more frequently. So if you haven't followed my TikTok account, it's Inspirational M. Find it, follow it. The contents are slightly varied, but my message of hope is consistent across. I'll see you guys later.